What's good, beautiful people? It's your girl, Ashley Janae, and today I'm starting a new segment for you called TOOLKIT Tuesdays. Now, this segment is going to be for entrepreneurs, for influencers, for anyone that is building their dreams or chasing their goals down with all that they have, or if you want to get started. Now, the reason why I'm calling this TOOLKIT Tuesday is because there are certain things that you have to have in your arsenal to prepare you for any situation in life or business. Now, me as a person that does a lot of construction projects, home repair, DIY, and things like that, I have a shelf full of tools. Some of those tools were given to me by my parents. Some of those tools I had to acquire doing different projects. However, there's a small bag that I also keep that has the tools that I need for my everyday projects. Things like a hammer, nails, a screwdriver, bits, goggles, gloves, tape measure, leveler. The simple things that can get me through almost any situation. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to evaluate the tools in your arsenal to help you in life or business. Now, some of the things that we're going to be discussing are networking, sales, marketing, how to systematize certain things, how to build your website. Those are the kind of tools that we need in our toolkit to be successful. How to create a business plan, how to create a roadmap, okay? So the first thing that I need you to understand is that knowledge of what you want to do is the tool itself. And that's what I'm giving you. This is information, but tools do not work on their own. You have to put these tools, these tips, these simple practices in motion. You have to add the action. Your screwdriver is not going to work on its own. Your hammer is not going to work on its own. Okay? Now, my way is not going to be the only way to do it, but guess what? You can put a table together with super glue. It will not last you the test of time. The tips and tricks that I'm going to be giving you, the tools that I'm going to be giving you for your toolkit, these will make sure that you have a sustainable, permanent outcome in whatever you're trying to do. So let's jump into it. The first tool that you need to have in your toolkit is a roadmap. Why is a roadmap important? A roadmap is important because no carpenter, no construction worker starts a plan without the blueprints. If you don't know what you're building, it's not going to withstand the test of time. Listen, get your ideas out of your brain. There are so many people that I talk to that say, "Oh, no, I have a great idea." Well, let me see your plan. Let me see your business plan. Oh, it's in my head. Excuse me. You can't have your plan in your head. Even if it's something as your nutrition goals, you need to have a tangible written reference that you can look at every single day to remind you of your goals, to remind you of your plan, to remind you of what you're building. If you don't, you'll get sidetracked. If you don't, you'll put it on the back burner, and that's not what you want. You need a roadmap. And I wrote down a few things that can help you with your roadmap. The first thing that you need is to write down your vision and your values. A lot of people write down their vision and then they stop there. But the reason why it's very important to also write down your values is because you have to say no a lot when you are chasing any type of goal, building any type of dream. And so the values help you stay in alignment with what it is that you're building. So when someone comes to you with an offer that is not in alignment, you have to learn how to say no. So first things first is you write down your vision and your values. That's the most important for where you want to go, what it is that you're building. If someone has a vision for a house, they write down, how many rooms does the house have? How many bathrooms do I want it to have? Do I want it to be one level or two levels? Do I want an indoor swimming pool, an outdoor tennis court? What is it that you want? Be so clear and so specific about your vision when you write it down, okay? Next thing, you have to write down the critical goals. So if we're using the house analogy, a critical goal would be making sure that we have a firm foundation. So what do you need for a firm foundation? X, Y, Z, A, B, C. You plan it out. What are my critical goals that I need to meet? Firm foundation, solid structure, this type of roof, this amount of time, finish by this day. The season is changing, the weather might get cold. What are my critical goals that I need to reach? How do you prioritize those things? You figure out what is most important. You don't go and buy the supplies for a roof before you lay the concrete for your foundation. So prioritize and plan your critical goals. That's next. The next thing you want to do is develop strategies for the goals you're trying to accomplish. So if one of your goals, let's say you're developing your business and you need to get new clients, one of your strategies would be, I need to speak to 50 people today and maybe I'll get one lead. And you have to be realistic about these strategies and understand the outcomes. The more you put in, the more you get out. It's the law of averages. So if you want to build new clients, you can speak to 100 people every single day to get one or two new face-to-faces and then hopefully get a customer from that. You understand what I'm saying? So one of your strategies, I'm going to speak to 100 people today. That is a strategy. Now, next, these are the action steps. These are the tactics. So if your strategy was to speak to 100 people a day, 50 people a day, your action step, your strategy or your tactic for that strategy would be, okay, if I need 100 new clients for a daycare, I have a daycare business and I need 100 new clients, or I need to speak to 100 people, where would I go to find mothers, fathers, parents? Where would I go? Maybe I try a baby store. Maybe I try Target. Maybe I try a daycare center. You know what I'm saying? There are certain ways that you have to make your strategies matter. If you go to a place like the gym, you might not be as successful as if you go to Babies R Us. So the tactics that you take, the action steps that you take to execute your strategies are so very important. This is the strategy on a very detailed level. Those are your tactics. The next thing is you have to determine what are the potential roadblocks that I can run into and how do I plan for those. Whatever you're going to do, there's going to be hurdles, there's going to be roadblocks, and you never want to fool yourself into thinking that it's going to be a smooth sail the entire way. You're going to have setbacks, you're going to have mishaps. People that will sign up for your program will drop out of your program. People that say, hey, I'll meet you at this time, won't meet you. You cannot put all of your hope and faith in the fact that I have a great idea, people really need this, people will benefit by it, and so that's what's going to make it work. Hard work, hours, and the grind is what's going to make it work over a period of time. That's it. That's all. There are going to be hurdles and roadblocks, but you have to plan accordingly. That's making sure you have your war chest set in place. That's making sure you have a lawyer set in place. That's making sure you have certain insurances set in place for whatever hiccups come your way. And last but not least, you decide what are the milestones that you can reach that will help encourage you and reinvigorate you at the times when you feel like, man, this isn't working. What are the milestones that you can celebrate? What are the victories that you can celebrate? So if you're building the house or getting clients for your daycare, man, I secured one client. I laid one brick. All of these things are milestones. But then there are other big milestones. I got the permits approved for the building, or I have 10 consistent clients that are on auto pay for my daycare. You understand what I'm saying? What are the milestones that you can celebrate to let you know, one, my business is becoming successful, and two, what do I need to do to expand if my business keeps growing at the rate that it's growing? Okay? So the first thing that you have to have in your toolkit is a roadmap. Next week, I'll come back to you with another tip But for now, let me know if this helped you, what kind of business you have, and if you have already gotten started, or if you're struggling, where are your questions? What are you struggling with? What has helped you in business so far? Okay? If you like this video, if you found value in it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to come along for the journey, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Peace.